This is the skid steer. I was just remarking about how pretty that seat is. There's not a rip in the thing. I was like, wow. Anyway, what I need to do here today is take this plate off. It's the adapter plate or whatever it's called. The bushings are pretty much trashed in it. And also, right here, you can see it's torn out. I don't really care about the bushing as much as it's torn out. When I try to get a flat scrape on something, that would rev up and try to come out. So I'm going to take the plate off and see if I can rework it some. Looks like every weld broke on it. I don't know how that happened, but it's pretty trashed. Anyway, over here, all those pins should slide out easy. This pin, it's a cotter pin. I mean, not cotter. Well, it's kind of like it. There's a little hole there for the pin going. They welded a nut on the end rather than putting that pin through there. And so I need to cut that off. So I got my grinder out here. Let's see if I can cut right there very carefully and get that off. There we go. That side's off. Now I just need to see what's holding this side back. Looks like it's been welded terribly. I might have to get a hammer. What's this through? This one's ready to come out. This is what we call the good side, sadly. Bad side. A complete tear out right here. Cut that off where it's been welded to pull this through. Structural fracture right there. This had been, I don't know how this fell off or something. But let's look at it. Yeah. Someone did a real gorgeous job of fixing it. Look at that weld. But they used a wire feed welder though. I can see the little trails of wire. Alright, here's what I got so far. I put this piece in here. It's not welded, it's just a pressure fit for now. It's hot. So I cut it. That fits perfectly in there. I found out if I beat this side down too much, it no longer becomes a flat surface on their side. Somehow they got this was a torn off piece and then they welded on top of that and then they welded that. That's the only way I think how they did that. So this has to be offset about by 3/8, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, to keep the shovel to mount. And so that's kind of unfortunate, but this piece fits right in there perfectly. Ready for welding soon. Oh, that's hot. But I got to figure out how to make a hole in it. I don't have a drill bit that size, but I'll put this pin through it the other side and make it match up to where it looks like it needs to be. That hole has been wallowed out. I need to cut that slag off someone had welded there. And maybe take another piece of plate steel and put it on the back of this and drill another hole through it. That way it's, more fresh. I'd love to get a piece of pipe like they have, a little piece of pipe right there, a little piece of pipe right there. I gotta figure out what size that is. Maybe I could do that. Here's the mounting plate for the skid steer I've been working on. And this is the piece of metal I've cut the patch in there. And I have a pipe that cut right here, goes in there. And see, I don't have a drill bit that size. They do make them, but that drill bit costs like $79, and I'm not gonna pay that much. So I cross cut it. I'm gonna weld up all those little channels so it's strengthened. Weld that in. I had to cut. Someone had welded the pin in for some reason, which made it very hard for me to remove. And I had to cut it down to get the weld out. I'm gonna take a rasp into that hole, and then I got a piece of pipe I cut for it too, and that's gonna go in here and weld it. Pretty good. I'm going to flip it over, do the other side. And then I'll grind my surface to weld on there. Those welding rods I've got, are really good. I was surprised. I think they were the cheapest welding rods I've ever bought. Lincoln Electric, stick electrodes, official license of NASCAR. They're pretty good ones. Here I got it all welded up. I know someone's judging my welds and they're going to say they're terrible and I'm endangering people, but it works. Strong. My welds might be ugly as shit, but they're strong. Strong, strong. This piece wasn't even there before. I fabricated that piece. I put a brace there. I put pipes. I put a pipe in this one. Make it easier to glide. I'm going to spray paint this and call it good, probably. I took a grind wheel and I took off all the loose paint and rust, although it still looks pretty bad, but about ready to put it back on after I paint it and see if she breaks. We'll do some tests. Got her all spray painted and I'm going to flip her over once she dries and paint the other side. I got new pins for the most part. I do have, I'm going to have to use this old one because I ran out of pins. I got washers too to go on the other side of the pins. So yeah. The plate, I installed it. I put new pins on it. You can see my ugly welding over there. But anyway, my welds are holding so far. I noticed it does want to slip out sometimes, but that's because that doesn't have a pin in it to hold it down. But the locking mechanism does have a pin. But anyway, it's pretty good. It works.